was living on my grandfather's income. So he was real old-fashioned. He's representation of tradition for me. So he would just come and give my grandmother his check. And I never understood that. Growing up, I was like, you just gonna give her the whole check? He was like, yeah. And then later, like as an adult, he'll tell me, he said, you couldn't see it and you won't understand it because you was a baby. He said, when it gave your mama the check, it stopped her from looking at things I couldn't give her. Because she was aware of what was really there, it made my responsibilities her responsibilities. So she had to pay the bills. And because she was paying the bills, she knew she may require some black pumps because when we look good, we feel good.
That's right.
But she may not necessarily have to have red on the bottom. If she knows what financially you can bear, she don't feel deprived because she can't have them at that point.
So a couple of videos back, I just discussed this. People want that old school setup that their grandparents used to have, but nobody ever discussed why it was set up that way. There were not a lot of opportunities for women, not only to go to college, but to work, period. So this particular notion that grandma was choosing to stay home and choosing not to work is false. There were just not a lot of jobs for women to go off and do and feel like, okay, this is worth my time. I'd rather be home raising my kids versus getting paid. And there was still a huge ass pay gap, getting paid little to nothing. And when there were jobs available, there were so many women fighting for the positions, it was damn near not worth doing, especially if you were a black woman, more than likely, unless you were going to be a housemaid or something of that sort, some type of domestic, basically slave labor. It was more important for you to go home and clean your own house than to go off working for somebody else. But also what I discussed in the previous video was men miss the point of why the husband brought the money home. These men want these particular setups today, but they won't even transfer direct deposit into the joint account. They want to sift through their money first and then put the bare minimum in, while that is supposed to be her handling the household if she's not working. Then we have to add in, a lot of men have this ego trip because it's not that you have an issue with her making her own money. It's that you really feel like that money controls what she does and how she does what she does. So what that ego is having an issue with is you losing control, not the fact that she's working or making more money than you. A lot of people during the pandemic that were on one income households lost it all during the pandemic. And I mean all. I don't care if he was having several businesses. Some people lost it all. I was taught you live off the lesser of two incomes and you invest and save and invest with the higher of the two to make more money. Y'all do what y'all want though.